Hey, how's it going? Today's Thursday, July 11th, 2024. This is, of course, the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. And we're going to talk about the fourth and final potential uncomfortable truth as it relates to Stronghold Digital Mining. And this is perhaps one of the more challenging things to talk about. And it has to do with what I believe is the very real possibility that we can do everything right and our stock price will simply not respond in a meaningful, sustainable way. In other words, hey, we can all of a sudden start making quite a bit of money with Bitcoin mining on a consistent basis. We can all of a sudden have a carbon capture project, which when fully built out has the potential to be the 8th largest direct air capture project in the United States in 2024. If it were to, all be built out this year, we can be selling electricity to the grid at incredibly lucrative prices. We could be not only cash flow positive, but be generating a net profit like we did in Q1 2024, not that long ago. We could be doing all of those things consistently, correctly, and our stock price will simply remain in the doldrums. Not because we're not doing the right things, but it's simply because for whatever reason, we're viewed as not being investable. Maybe our market cap is too small, so larger pools of institutional money really feel as if though they can't look at us. We might be somewhat uninvestable because maybe some people perceive our mine waste to energy facilities as being somehow bad for the environment, when in fact it's the complete opposite. There's any number of different reasons. I think obscurity may very well be one of the biggest issues. Like if we were to poll, 10,000 people, across the United States of America, hey, or even around the world, really, hey, tell me in 3 sentences or less what Stronghold Digital Mining is, or where they're located, or what they do. I'm not even sure that we'd really register, in terms of, random people even knowing who we are or what we do. Arguably, our claim to fame is the connection to Bitcoin. But beyond that, who's really ever heard of Stronghold Digital Mining? This is why sometimes I kind of half-jokingly suggest that if a celebrity or several celebrities, be they online celebrities or Hollywood celebrities or whatever the case may be, were to simply send out a message to their 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 million plus followers, right? Simply saying, hey, check out this company, Stronghold Digital Mining. I'm not associated with them. I'm not being paid by them. I'm not vouching for what they do, but check them out because what they do seems to be pretty interesting. And I'm having my business manager take a look to see if it may be a worthwhile investment, right? Something like that. I mean, anything, really, literally anything that would create some attention, generate some attention, maybe get a conversation going. I mean, just fill in the blank, really. Just about anything could probably get us some much needed attention to help us rise out of obscurity. Well, some people might say, hey man, but that's not really the issue, but really it kind of is, because let's keep it super real for a moment, okay? We both know that there are companies in the stock market today that are struggling, that don't make much money, if any, and have all kinds of, issues, right? And yet the price of the stock itself can just absolutely, explode in a good way, merely at the publishing of a meme surrounding that company, right? Fundamentals don't matter. I mean, forget about 10Ks, 10Qs analysis, right? Forget about all that stuff. Forget the chart. Forget everything. Just the fact that something can become kind of popular, right? Or capture the imagination in one way or another as it relates to a stock, right? Can send that stock price just catapulting forward. That is the reality of the market we live in. So from my perspective, right, yes, it's important that we try our best to get the fundamentals correct, right? It makes a lot of sense to make sure that we can generate profitable revenue, right? Positive cash flow. These are all really good, important things. But as I said at the outset, the potentially uncomfortable truth is, and we need to just grapple with this, accept it, and commit to changing this situation, right? Is that, hey, we could be doing everything right, and it may not necessarily matter to the stock price. Hey, our carbon capture project just got listed on Puro Earth. Awesome. Is the stock going to move? Maybe a little bit. Will it be sustained? Who knows? Or will the stock kind of pop up a little bit and then just kind of drift back down? Now, I understand. There are a lot of traders out there. Hey, I know the feeling, right? You say, I'm going to flip the shares, make some money. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, really. But, what does this stock chart look like over the next 12 months, the next 24 months? I've said this before. It might bear repeating again, right? 1,000 shares invested at the IPO price of, I believe it was $19, I think, right? Back in 2021. Today, remember, there was a reverse stock split, so 10-for-1 reverse stock split. So you'd have like 100 shares, and your 100 shares would be trading for like $3 and change. So you'd have, say, roughly $350 out of, say, like $19,000 invested at the IPO. Now, I did not invest at the IPO. I didn't get involved until much later in 2022 when prices were already dramatically pretty low. Hard to believe they've gotten even lower. But my point is that, our stock has been under long-term pressure. Yes, it's true. We've had some pops in the stock price. They just haven't been sustainable. We keep getting pulled down into the quicksand of like irrelevance as it relates to our equity price. And that's a real challenge, because if any growth projects are going to be funded through stock sales or, any other permutation of security sale pursuant to our universal shelf registration to the tune of $250 million, which is being reviewed by the SEC, I don't know that our stock price has the volume or price to really, do much for us at this juncture. So that's kind of where we're at. All right. Now, the good news is that there are a lot of positives that I'm going to be sharing in the days and weeks ahead, and as I typically do, that relate to this company. But I think it's important that we at least air out some, it's not an exhaustive list, right? But the 4, right, as we just did these past couple of days, the 4 potentially uncomfortable truths about Stronghold Digital Mining. And today's, the final one, is that, hey, we could still do everything right, but unless we figure out how to really invigorate some attention into the stock price, we could be doing everything right and still have a stock that's floundering. And that's no good for anyone. So I know it's been kind of sobering the past number of days, but I do think it's important that we collectively grapple with this reality, right? That we sort of accept it, but most important that we commit to make the changes and to sort of like really make the decisions necessary to help us slowly but surely chart a more sustainable, profitable path forward. Q1 2024, just last quarter, was, I think, evidence of our ability to do just that, right? To hit it on all cylinders and to do really, really well. Do I think we can do that again? Yes, but it's going to take some cooperation from some of our revenue inputs, which we have somewhat limited control over. It's going to take some very thoughtful decision-making as to how we choose to proceed with various growth initiatives. And I believe it's going to really depend on our collective ability to, for lack of a better way to say it, to promote our stock, right? To talk about shares of Stronghold Digital Mining. Not a fun thing to do in the context of our performance, right? It hasn't been all that good. And that's not me being negative. That's just me making an observation as to our past stock price performance. Okay? As you know, I am incredibly optimistic. And so on that note, let's stay positive. Let's be great. And we'll see each other again tomorrow.